So, what is something that you wish that you knew before you started working in recording studios or your own studio or just in recording in general? Let me know down in the comments. Check out this pile. This is my tripod I'm setting you on top of. I asked this question on Instagram and got some answers from you guys. So I'll read through some of your responses. If you didn't participate in this, I'd love to see your take on it down in the comments. I'll share a couple of mine as well. All right, from my friend at producer Daniel Dennis. He says, the quest for tone never ends. Nicky Boy Leo says how important it is to take care of your ears. This is true. From at the band Chrome Kids, they say, Pro Tools, lots of on-the-spot learning. That's true. Next one from drummer_RJZ, that every little detail makes a huge difference. At ZJeff Maritz Kluds, sorry dude. He says that 80% of paying customers have no talent. I don't know if it's 80%, but sometimes working with clients is just a job. Like an important difference between like just engineering and producing is really helping the client understand what makes the song better. And hopefully the client is open-minded and takes that to heart and works with you to make the song as good as it can be. This is a good one from Sam Petter Clayson. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. He says, your perception, idea, and work of, quote, when it's done changes throughout the years. That's for sure true, as well as how much time you spend on it. I don't understand this one. I see this comment all the time. Things dust real fast. I think some of you guys have like air quality issues. I get asked way too regularly about how I deal with dust. I have an air filter in here. Clean the room, I guess. This one's really good from Ben Did Elot. He says, how to be more intentional with my work. That's important. That's really important. Speaking of being intentional, today I've got to put some drums on this track for this guy. I didn't anticipate after mentioning it in that drum video how many of you guys would book it. That's super cool. There's a few projects that came about that I'm extremely excited for. We're gonna do a couple videos on. Over the weekend, I got some new gear that showed up. So I was up way too late last night trying to figure out how to connect it and how to incorporate it into this system. Since I moved all the gear around, I've gotta re-update my input list and then change some patches, and then I get to try it out. Drums looking as beautiful as ever. The new addition here is I got the Soyuz 013 pencil tube mics, and these things are crispy, dude. This is the Ludwig Classic Maple 14 by 6.5. I'm really excited to try it out. Here's the new setup here. I moved the 500 rack up top. These are my first API pre's I've ever had. The last newest thing here is this Bus Plus from SSL, and you better believe I'm gonna be shooting it out with my warm audios here. These freaking things win every shootout that I put them up against, so I'm really excited to try the SSL Bus Plus against them. So while I'm updating my input sheet here, I want to tell you a little bit about this course that I just put out, kind of how it falls into this topic here of, one, being intentional, but two, you know, what do you wish that you knew before you started in the studios? And it would be interesting to be able to go back and talk to myself about some of this stuff, because obviously there's a number of different things that would have been nice to know ahead of time. And some of those things are very basic, like what is the exact direction you want to go in? For example, before I moved to California, I was dead set that I wanted to be a mixer. Ironically, I was spending most of my time, you know, recording, and I just thought, like, you record the thing and then you make it sound good in the mix, and I want to learn how to make it sound good, so therefore I want to be a mixer. And that hunger to learn really served me when I went to recording school, because I just wanted to absorb every bit of information. And then later, when I started working in a commercial studio, after a couple years of being there, nearly every single day was a tracking session. People were booking the studio because of the incredibly historic, beautiful, amazing sounding tracking rooms and all of the unreal outboard equipment and consoles and reverb chambers and plates that the studio has that you can just only get there. And while the rooms and the gear is really fun, it was the tracking and production process that I fell in love with. And still to this day, the skills that I learned working there, even as an assistant engineer, man, they serve me, and I am equally, if not more, obsessed with what I do now, all because of that spark that was lit in those sessions. But the reason I started working on courses, I wanted to make a product for myself when I was a teenager, when I was interested in this and I didn't have a lot of direction with what I wanted to do or what I needed to learn. And obviously there's an infinite amount of things to learn, and you're always still learning, adding to that. So what I've basically landed on is putting out a series of topical mini video courses. Instead of like some flagship, here's everything you need to know, and charging thousands of dollars, or like a membership per month or whatever. It's just gonna be topical, and it's gonna be one at a time, and they're gonna be digestible and easy to watch, and it's gonna be just like this, where we're like basically hanging out and I'm explaining to you these different topics. So the first course that came out today, as I'm filming this on Monday, is called The Recording Studio. And it's essentially breaking down some of the modern recording studios that are operating today. Whether that's a small scale home studio, project studio, commercial studio, and then what those studios are used for, and then what are some of the jobs and roles and positions of the people who work in these studios. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll put a link to it. It's $10. That's another part of this whole thing. I want them to be, easy to get your hands on and easy to understand. Now back to the things I wish I knew before I started is how important your network is, and the people that you meet along the way. Like, those people can completely change the trajectory of your career. In addition to the intro to the recording studio course, there's a private group that I created for everyone who buys the course who's just getting started, or I could tell a lot of people already have studios who bought it, where you guys can just communicate with each other and network and share different things that you've learned, or maybe you work somewhere that's looking for interns, or maybe you're an intern looking for a studio to work at or get a job at or whatever. It's just a little hub for all of you guys to connect, and I wish I had that when I started. So that's why I made the group, and you get that when you pick up the course. All right, so a new goal of mine with these videos is to do more giveaways. I want to give back to you for watching. There's a link in the description. This week, we're going to be giving away the new Shure SM7DB. Now, this new release from Shure, the SM7DB, has a inline mic preamp included inside the mic. So if you've used the SM7 before, traditionally you'd have to get some sort of inline booster, like a cloud lifter or something like that, to boost up the signal, because the microphone has a low output level on it. Now, why did we pick this mic to give away this week? Well, I figured it's topical if we're talking about things we knew before we got started. I would have probably got a mic like this. Obviously, you've seen it on most podcasts, like ever. Great dialogue voice microphone, but it's also a tremendous studio microphone that literally works on everything. It sounds great on guitar cabinets, it sounds great on live drums, sounds great on vocals, on bass cabinets. You could put this thing on nearly anything and it's gonna work just like a Swiss Army knife. It's the same sound you get from the SM7, but with that inline preamp built in, so you don't have to buy the separate thing and then use extra XLRs to be able to use it, which is always kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, if you want to learn more, there's a link into the giveaway for your chance to win it. Thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video and giving away this microphone. So do me a favor, let me know down in the comments where you are in your recording journey. Are you an expert? You know everything there is possibly to know? Are you somewhere earlier in the process? Are you not even involved at all and you're kind of curious on getting involved in it and learning more? I'd love to hear where you are in your journey, and I'm going to do my best to reply to all the comments down below. If you're interested and you are early on in your process, check out my course link down in the description. It's only $10. It's called The Recording Studio. It's going to be a great resource to sort of guide you on different directions you can take in your recording pursuit or journey. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next video.